Hello! Welcome to another video. I have been meaning to film this particular video since I started YouTube about 3 years ago. I have been, if you've never watched me before, I have been on a very big journey with anxiety and quite a severe anxiety disorder. At one point I couldn't leave my house. I had panic attacks all the time. I felt sick all the time. I couldn't work for a while, or when I was at work I'd have to leave because I was just so anxious. I had to leave college. I didn't do very well in school. There's a lot of things that my anxiety has affected, my relationships, loads of things, and I have been on like a 10+ year journey with anxiety. There's been a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and my parents have been on this journey with me, and there was definitely periods where they very much didn't understand. They would possibly be hurtful, or they'd possibly be confused and wouldn't know how to deal with it. And if you're watching this, I'm guessing you're a parent of somebody with anxiety, or you're somebody with anxiety that wants to show this video to your parents or people in your life. I think the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that when your child has an anxiety disorder, often it's quite new to you as a parent, and it's something that you haven't experienced before, and it could be something you've never even really heard of, or you've heard of people having anxiety, but this is like a whole new level and a whole new thing you have to get on board with and understand, and it can be a really tough journey. And for a long time my parents didn't really understand it because I didn't understand it, so I couldn't really explain to them what was going on, and it is a very hard time for parents as well as it is for the sufferer of anxiety. And so that's why I want to make this video, because it's a hard journey, and you will probably get things wrong, and you'll probably not always know what to say, and you might have been in situations already where your child has been angry with you or upset with you because you've not fully understood them. And so this is just some things that I've kind of wanted to talk about for a really long time. The first thing is understanding, and I think the first part of that is understanding that you might not ever know how they feel, and you don't know the severity of what they're going through, and understand that you don't understand. Make peace with that and accept that you don't understand what they're going through, but that it's pretty severe and debilitating. Anxiety is real, and anxiety is something that can really stop your life and make you feel awful. But your first step is to understand, okay, I don't know what my child's going through, but I know it's real, and I know it's really horrific for them. The next point is to get some support and some help for yourself. Going through this, if you are somebody that's in a relationship, if you are with your child's mother or father, and you are able to talk to them, then that's absolutely fantastic. Make sure it's out of earshot of your child, because you don't want your child hearing how much it's affecting you, because that can really set them back and make them feel guilty. Get support for yourself, whether that is through your partner, through your parents, through a therapist of your own. You need help supporting your child through this. You can't do it all on your own, and I'm guessing there's going to be some really tricky roads during this period, and there's going to be times where you feel like you're doing everything wrong. There's going to be times where you don't know how to get your child out of this really horrible slump or really horrible time in their life, and you feel helpless and you feel like you're not doing enough. You need to talk to somebody, and you need to get help from somewhere else. And that is really important, to look after your own mental well-being while you're looking after your child's mental well-being. The next thing is to encourage therapy and medications, and encourage them to get help. It's really difficult because there's a fine line between being pushy when it comes to this and encouraging, and I think suggesting therapy, maybe looking into therapists in your area, or suggesting that different medications can work. By the way, don't be afraid of anxiety medication. It doesn't always make you like a zombie. If you find the right one, I'm on citalopram, and that really helps me, so don't be afraid of suggesting mental health medication. It doesn't make your child change their personality, it doesn't make them like a zombie, it doesn't make them unable to function. It usually, if you find the right one, it takes the edge off of them. They will probably still need some kind of therapy, and they'll need support still, and it won't alleviate their problems. But don't be afraid of medication, don't be afraid of therapy. And if you are in the financial position to do so, maybe helping your child pay for private therapy if you are in that position, because if I'm honest, the NHS didn't do much for me, and I've had a lot of issues with the medical professionals when it comes to my anxiety. I'm not sure if you've been in that position yet, but it is tough. And so if you are in the financial position to be able to afford private therapy for your child, then I would go down that road personally. Like I said, you should encourage your child to go to therapy, but also realise at the right time for them is important. They might not be ready to go to therapy right now. They might not be able to think about that. They might not think it's the right thing for them just now. But gently, very, very gently remind them that it's an option, and that's an option that you're willing to take them to in whatever way you can support them, if that's driving them there, if that is giving them a lift home, or giving them complete space in order to do that and not talking about it. Whatever way it suits your child, encourage therapy, but do not force them, because when they're ready, they will come to you. And yeah, just creating that supportive environment for them. The next one is really important, and that is have fun. Don't always make it about your child's anxiety. What kind of things are they able to do? Are they able to play cards in the house? Are they able to walk to the park with your dogs? What are they able to do? Don't focus all the time on what they can't do. They can't work, they can't go to school, they can't do this. Stop focusing on that, because that's just really shattering their confidence as well as their anxiety. So I think starting to build them up on the things they can do, having fun with them, reminding them that they can still have fun even with this crippling illness. Things like playing cards in the house. You're in your safety of your home, you are playing something, you're having fun, you're not talking about anxiety, you're not talking about the hard things they face every day. You are having fun with your child in a way that they are able to participate in. So whatever it is you know your child enjoys and there's not a lot of stress around it, try and encourage them to focus on that. Also, maybe slightly try to implement really tiny steps. So something I've done with my mum recently is been going swimming. It's a little bit of my comfort zone, but not massively. It's still quite easy for me. It's getting exercise, it's building my confidence because I'm in a new environment, but still safe. So encouraging your child to take really, really little steps, but not forcing them, and letting them kind of lead the way. The next one is probably quite hard as a parent, and that is to never, ever put pressure on them. When it comes to, you've got a family party and it's far away, or you've got a family party and there's going to be lots of people there. Whatever it is, if your child is anxious and they cannot do it, listen to them. I think it's important for you to try and put in place things to make them feel safe. So for example, I've got a family party coming up soon and my parents really want me to go. So my dad is driving, he's not going to drink alcohol, he's going to drive, and he's going to drive me home. We understand each other, and he knows that if at some point I need to leave and get out of there, then we leave and get out of there. There's no questions asked, there's no, oh come on, please just try. There's nothing like that. There's acceptance, and there is a willingness to know, okay, if I feel anxious, we're going to leave. This won't last forever, and if you put something in place to make sure your child feels safe, and if you put something in place to be 100% on their team and 100% with them, even if it's hard and even if it's going against other people, even if it's going to cause friction, whatever it is, if your child knows you are on their team, you are going to help them in whatever way you can, you're not scared of people's judgment, they are going to feel like you are a part of them and you're with them and you understand them, and that is going to help with their anxiety massively. In the long term, that's going to absolutely change your relationship with them. It's going to really grow it, it's going to make it stronger, it's going to make your child so much happier knowing that there's somebody, especially a parent, on their team. So completely getting rid of any pressure, even when it comes to things like university and college and stuff like that. If they are not ready, they are not ready, and that might be a really hard thing to accept as a parent because you just want them to do well and to reach their potential, and you know how special and intelligent they are. But when they're ready, when their time will come, it's just about giving them time, giving them space, and giving them complete acceptance. The next thing is to never get angry at them. Never ever get angry at them for their anxiety. Anxiety is a crippling thing to have, and when you're in that space, it is, I can't tell you how difficult it is and how lonely it feels and how it feels like nobody understands, and how it's just, all I can describe it as is this hot disgusting, sickening, horrible thing. Sometimes your child might be more irritable because they are going through this horrible, horrible period of their life. Don't get frustrated that they cannot do the things that you want them to be able to do. Even if it's been a year and your child seems to be making no progress, internal progress is always, always being made. Especially if your child's in therapy, and especially if they're taking the little small steps. You might get frustrated and be like, I just want you to get better right now. I just want you to, why can't you just switch this off? Why can't you just pretend it's not there and just be and just whatever? I know it can be really frustrating because you just want them to do well and be happy. That's where the support for yourself comes in, and that's where you can say to your partner, oh, I really wish she'd just be able to get help, or I really wish she'd just be able to do the things that other kids can do, and I really wish she could just go to uni and be happy and find somebody that loves her and all the rest of it. Talk to your partner at length, talk to your friends at length, talk to your therapist at length about all these frustrations you have, but never, ever, ever take it on your child. Never let them feel guilty for impacting your life, even if you are really frustrated and you are really just really struggling to deal with the fact that they're not doing well. Never, ever, ever let that kind of slip to your child, because then your child will just feel unbelievable amounts of guilt and won't want to talk to you about things, and will just feel like they're ruining your life, and that it just will not end well. And you want to build the relationship between you and your child that is safe and that is loving. And the last one might be a really tricky one, and that is to educate the other people around you. So you have a child that has anxiety and you're beginning to understand what they're going through, or you have done research and you think you know about anxiety, all that kind of stuff. If you're able to, take on the responsibility of educating your parents, their grandparents, the uncles and aunties, your friends, work colleagues, whoever it is. If you're in a situation where they're saying, okay, why isn't Emily, why isn't she ever coming to see us? Why isn't she interested in us? Why does she have panic attacks? What's wrong with her? Whatever these questions are, don't meet it with, oh my god, they're attacking me. Don't meet it with aggression. Meet it with, okay, this is an opportunity to educate this person on what my child's going through and educate them on mental health illnesses, because not everybody knows about it. People don't get it. However that person reacts is totally up to them, but a part of your responsibility, if you're able to do it, is to say, oh, she has panic attacks. This is what panic attacks are. She has really severe anxiety in social situations. This is what it means to her. This is why she can't come. This is the things you can do. This is the environment we want to create for her in order for her to be able to grow. I think it's easy to try and shy away from the topic and just it may be becoming the elephant in the room and you don't really know how to talk about it, and it becomes this thing that everybody is thinking but nobody wants to talk about. Open that conversation up. It is not embarrassing. It's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to talk about these illnesses, and it's okay to let those people judge you. And if they think you're mollycoddling your child, if they think that you're doing the wrong thing, whatever they think, that's absolutely okay. You're doing the best thing for your child. And I am somebody that has suffered with anxiety. I am somebody that's parents didn't understand at first, that now understand, and I have a more loving relationship with my parents now because they understand, because they help me put safety boundaries in place, because they understand my boundaries. If my parents were still not accepting of my illness, there wouldn't be as much of a good communication between us. I wouldn't feel safe with them. I would feel, I don't know what my relationship would be like with them now. So all of these things I've talked about, I know it's been a bit higgledy-piggledy and there's so much more I could say. Have a think about what I've said today. Look online. There's so many things online about, as a parent, dealing with mental illness with your child, and just take into consideration some of the things I've said. Just try and create an understanding, no pressure environment for your child where you're still creating fun and still creating memories. Your lives don't have to stop. You can still have fun, you can still live a life. It just might be different than the lives your friends are living with their kids. But at the end of the day, you love your child and they love you, and you want that relationship and that bond to be there always, and you want your child to feel safe with you. I know it's so hard to deal with having a child with mental illnesses. I don't know what that's like, I just know what it's like to have mental illness. But the fact that you're watching this video means that you're taking steps to understand your child, and that is more than they can ask for, and that is amazing. So thank you very much. As a child of anxiety, thank you very much for taking interest and trying your best to be there for us. And yeah, thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.